Hey y'all, CODI here with another monthly media video, this time from March 2026. I just want to get some stuff out of the way with media I've been getting through but haven't finished. I'm still slowly getting through the Aoi Tori visual novel. I've been getting through the Amphorius arc in Honkai Star Rail. Currently, at the time of this script, I'm at patch 3.2, or at least I just finished 3.2. In all honesty, I did consider including the 3.1 and 3.2 patch on this list as separate entries, but then I was like, I'll just wait, and I'll talk about the entire Amphorius arc whenever I finish that. I've been reading through the Pokemon Black and White Adventures manga, and I've been reading through the Dreaming Freedom manhwa. And lastly, I really wanted to finish Hello Charlotte episode 3, but I barely just missed out on doing so. So I'll talk about that in the April video whenever I get around to doing that. With all of that out of the way, the worst piece of media that I got through this month is the untold story of this specific Coke bottle, which, do I even include this? Genuinely, I debated this, right? Obviously. So if you don't know, this is a story that I, the can't overdo it, wrote. I wrote it over the course of 2019 up through 2022 as essentially a book born out of word vomit, where I was writing a book that I actually genuinely cared about. I had a huge passion for it. I put a lot of thought and care into writing that, but then I ran into writer's block. The conundrum that I'd had was that even though I had this writer's block and I really could not figure out how to get around that, I still had a huge passion for writing itself. So I decided rather than just sticking there and doing nothing, I would write another book, one that I didn't even remotely care about, one that didn't need structure or continuity or as much love, care, and attention that went into the book that I did care about. And thus, the untold story of this specific Coke bottle was born. Now, I loved the story. This ridiculous time capsule that I genuinely enjoyed doing another read through for. Johnny was this character created by me and my best friend of over 10 years now, by the way, when we joked about some guy being dumb enough to spend $15 on a $5 hot and ready at Little Caesars. And now we live in a world where that reality's getting closer. That $15 hot and ready, man. It's getting there. But regardless of the inflation, I did turn that character real. Davy was created because another really close friend of mine has the last name Davis, and they wanted to be represented in the story somehow, so we worked out some ideas until we settled on Davy. Sophie and Damien, meanwhile, were just entirely off the dome. I don't know where the hell they came from. Realistically, I couldn't bring myself to put this any higher. 6 out of 10. At number 8, we have another series I re-experienced after many years this month. I rewatched Llamas with Hats, which is hilarious. I loved Llamas with Hats when I was a kid, and rewatching the series now, it's still really fun. I especially loved the censorship video they had done, which I actually never saw before. Like, at the time that it released, I wasn't watching Llamas with Hats, but that video in particular was genuinely, like, incredible. Like, honestly, genuinely great stuff. Carl and Paul are absolute legends. If you've never seen Llamas with Hats on YouTube, you simply missed out, man. I don't know what to tell you. 6.5 out of 10. Moving on to number 7, we have Limbus Company's Mid-Spring Night Dream 3, which is just the April Fool's event, which was super fun, as it always is. Personally, I prefer the one they did last year. I still haven't forgiven them for False Quixote, if you know, you know. But this was just ridiculous fun. The Centerlings were all great in their own ways. Seeing Yuri on screen was insane. The Virgilius content was as cursed as April Fool's Virgilius tends to be. And again, is this the highest quality media? No. But it was super fun regardless. 7 out of 10. Moving on to the top 6, aka like the actual media, and even then someone disagree with that for these next two spots. At number 6, I have Minecraft Survivor Season 8, The Nile, which now feels like forever ago that I watched it, considering that Seasons 9 and 10 will also be on the list. And I do find Season 8 to unfortunately be the worst of the three, despite still being a fun season altogether. Having the tribes divided by age was fun. The decimation of the swamp was one that I actually personally enjoyed watching, though, despite knowing that it was going to happen, because this was actually the final season that I watched back when it come out. I think we had some really great content from the likes of Banjo, Salted, Gonzo, Chris Blue, and Kid, who were all the main stars for me personally on the rewatch, but I did like the whole cast in totality. All in all, it was a fun season, but it didn't quite stack up to the others this month. 7.5 out of 10. And one spot above it at 5 in the middle of the list is another season of Minecraft Survivor, this time being Season 10, Greece, which I'd never seen before, and was actually the catalyst for me doing this rewatch in the first place. Where this new season was coming out, I decided, screw it. I'm gonna catch myself back up to the series so that I can watch the finale live for the first time in years, which I was able to do successfully. And through this rewatch, I fell in love with the series again. And luckily, by the time that I got to season 10 didn't disappoint. It wasn't in contention for my favorite season across the series personally, but it's pretty comfortably like around the middle of the list. We had the likes of Ashley, who was an insane character. We had the story of the Logos tribe going through the ringer. Specifically, Belle, who became my main rooting interest after having attended every single tribal. We had the clash of the Titans at the merge with Jackson and Joey going head to head. We had the Logos 3 really playing the middle only to lose Belle and Sea Dog back to back, which was riveting to watch, probably my favorite episode of the season. We had Joey, this really big character, who coming into the finale, I thought it was wraps. I thought for sure we were headed to a Joey win, only for him to be cut at 5. So then I thought, oh, well, Jackie and Gummy are likely losing finalists based on the edit, so I figured if M didn't win immunity, she was probably a goner in this position, which would have been a real bummer for me, because at that point in the game, at the final 4, she was the only one I was really rooting for anymore. I mean, Jolts was cool and all, but I wasn't rooting for Jolts. And despite Jolts unshockingly winning immunity, M still survived. She bested the odds and had an incredible final tribal performance, landing her a win in a vote of 4-2, which was much closer than I anticipated. Again, the season, not perfect, but for me, it was still a very fun ride, 8 out of 10. At number 4, I have the second game in a trilogy, Hello Charlotte Episode 2, which was leagues and bounds above Hello Charlotte 1 for me, where Hello Charlotte 1 is okay. It lays the foundation for what's to come, but in a bubble, it's nothing better than just good. Episode 2 here is better than good. It's very good. There are actual characters now that build up the world. The game starts to get meta, which we'll talk about more in the April video when I cover episode 3. I thought C was a really great presence throughout, really reminding me of Mamiya Takuji towards the end, where he kind of fell off the deep end. Charlotte herself had some great moments. The classroom scenes reminded me that Paper Lily did in fact take inspiration from this game. Very clear inspiration when looking back on the bird scene of that game. The puzzles were mostly fine, the cosmic horror elements were handled well, and the last thing to talk about is that I just really liked those goofy ass sprites they made, dude. I found them hilarious. 8.5 out of 10. Now for the top 3, and we have what may be in contention for my favorite season of Minecraft Survivor, Season 9 Hokkaido, which was a really fun ride for me, especially. I think that one of the things that really benefits this season in particular is the fact that through this rewatch, I'd already seen seasons 1 through 8. So season 9 was my first time experiencing season 9, and it was incredible. Seeing Vision come back was awesome. I thought both Creed and Maddie played really well for being pre-merge boots. Giving Corkager another shot was an incredible idea. Chris Blue was fun again. We got more of Happy and Bayback, which was cool to see. I'm glad to see returns from both Timmy and Gonzo as well. Jason was really cool to see again. We got some of the newbies doing really well with the likes of Jonas and Luigi being really great characters. There is also the whole Swamp versus Timmy thing, which I thought was brutal, man. On one hand, I loved watching it through my phone screen or my computer screen, depending on when I was watching it. It was really interesting to see that play out, but also, holy hell, I would have hated to be there. It was so uncomfortable. Regardless, I liked the season a lot. It's got a very likable winner in Timmy. It's at a low ball, a top 4 season of Minecraft Survivor for me. Currently, I have it at number 2, but I'm going to be rewatching the series again, which leads me into something I was going to say for the outro originally, but I figure anybody who cares about this will be here now anyways, and anybody who didn't care about this announcement would have already skipped ahead. So I made a post about this before, but I mentioned earlier in this video that I fell in love with the series again, and that is absolutely true. Because I fell in love with the series again, though, I want to branch out and do something a bit special for the series. There is this YouTube channel called The Marion Review, a channel that does a bunch of reality TV content, namely about Survivor. Some of the content that he does over there are detailed reviews of seasons and player rankings, and I want to do that too, but for Minecraft Survivor. So, the plan is this. I'm going to rewatch Minecraft Survivor Sherwood Season 1. While I'm watching it, I'm going to take notes about what happened in the season, episode by episode, create a script, and do a full-length review of the season, giving my thoughts throughout it. Afterwards, I'll make a video ranking the 12 games of the 12 players on that season. Following this, I'll do the same thing for Minecraft Survivor Rorema in every season up to season 10. Maybe even 11, and shit, maybe I'll even apply to that one. I don't even know, I haven't decided yet. After I've done all of these, I might do some other rankings. I'll definitely do a season ranking, I know that for sure. but I might also do some other ones, like ranking the winners, the runner-ups, the final jurors, the first boots, the premiere episodes, the finale episodes, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Again, the world is your oyster. But I'd rather do the reviews and the player rankings first so that I can really pick apart everything and on a grander scale first. As for when those will all come out, I don't know. I'd be shocked if I finish all those in 2026. Like, I'm telling you, it's not going to happen. Anyways, season 9, fittingly, 9 out of 10. At the runner up spot of the month, the second best piece of media that I got through in the month of March 2026 is ShiboYugi playing death games to put food on the table season 1. Is this a biased pick? Yeah, absolutely, no shit. I love the series as is, and seeing the first two light novels be adapted is really great, especially since I picked up the series on a complete whim originally. It leaves me with a sense of pride and superiority, finding this hidden gem before it became the cool thing, and the anime delivered on that. Now, the adaptation was far from perfect. I have grievances with it because it's an anime that adapted a light novel. Who would have thought? I think that the Golden Bath arc got done dirty. I think that the whole monologue sequence in the final episode just didn't really make that much sense, and the anime as a whole was just very slow paced, which overall was a positive for me. I actually liked the pace that they chose for the anime, but there were definitely scenes that felt like they dragged on a little bit long. That being said, there were also things that I really liked. I think the premiere episode was really great. Scrap Building had a really solid adaptation. The overall dynamic between Yuki and Mishiro was handled mostly well, outside of the final fight being on a little bit on the disappointing side. I really loved the eye design of the anime. I really loved the way they portray Yuki's monologues, where in the book she refers to herself in both the first and third person. And my headcanon is that the anime wrestled with this by having the scenes where Yuki is watching the events of the story from a third person's perspective, and I really like that. I think that's super cool, and it's probably my favorite aspect of the entire adaptation. And of course, we had Candlewoods, the arc I was most looking forward to in the anime, and it did not disappoint me. While in classic book to TV fashion, I personally preferred the books, shockingly. It would be a lie, though, to say that I did not enjoy the time that I spent watching the show. And we're getting a movie for Cloudy Beach, which means we are one step closer to anime Tamamo. She's gonna be real, you just gotta trust me on this one. Y'all ain't ready for peak cinema, 9 out of 10. At number 1, though, the best piece of media that I got through in the month of March 2026 is one that people will possibly cry not fair about, because not only is this a reread, but it's a reread of my favorite piece of media across all of 2024, Your Throne. And Your Throne really proved to me across this reread that it is genuinely such a special series for me. It succeeds in ways that I didn't even know were possible. Where the first time I read it, I caught up to chapter 187. I then proceeded to read it week to week, being completely under its spell, eagerly awaiting every week for a new chapter, and I never once lost interest. Every week I tuned in as quickly as I could because I was just that invested in the story. This is an anomaly. This does not happen for me. Most times when I catch up to a series, it's just worse, and I do fall off of it over time. And then after chapter 242, we got the news of a hiatus, which obviously meant I was done with Your Throne for the time being. But once I got news that it was coming back, I reread the series with cautious optimism. Your Throne is a series that I've sang the high praises of, but what if it was just good on my initial impression? What if it was only just as high as it was for me because of recency bias? These questions and more plagued me as I began my reread, and I couldn't believe it. Not only was Your Throne able to alleviate my worries early on by still being good despite knowing what was to come, it fucking excelled. Your Throne for me was better on the reread than the initial go around. Seeing this little foreshadowing drip fed throughout the narrative was incredible. The parallels between the journeys of Medea Solana and Psyche Callista were just as captivating to me now as they were back then. Helio, Pell, and Eros all went up for me on the reread. Your Throne is a very special series, and I'll be sure to give it its flowers when I discuss it in the ever-elusive Top 100 Series video, whenever the hell that comes out. 10 out of 10. And that's all she wrote. I'll be back again next month with more of the same nonsense, and as always, take care, y'all.